Hi there, it's a beautiful morning. I thought I'd just do a vlog today on this walk that I'm doing around the lakes, just down the road from where I live, and talk about the mind. So I'm going to do little bits and stop in different places and talk to you, so you're not just, and then I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see where I am, so you've not got to watch my mug all the way through. So I've done 3 kilometers in 41 minutes so far, and I've been training to walk 22 kilometers in 6 weeks time. Whether I can do that or not remains something that we'll only know on the day how I feel, but I'm going to try and walk to raise money for prostate cancer. But I'll be back in a minute, and I'm going to stop at one of my favourite little places and have a chat about the mind and about the way I'm using my mind to hopefully help me in my fight against prostate cancer. So back soon. So I thought I'd stop here. This is my first stop. There's a little bridge that I like. Just a little wooden bridge. Goes over a little stream and the lake is beyond. And yeah, to talk a little bit about the mind, because it's in the most relaxing setting I can possibly think of, really. So you've got the flow of the water, the sun's out, there's a lovely breeze, and it's one of them spring days that is just, you could not get more perfect, really. So that's why I want to do this this walk and this video. So when I was diagnosed with cancer last year, this came as a massive shock, as it would anyone. But the first thing I wanted to do was, I got over the initial shock of it, was to become and to make this a positive experience. Now that's something that many people find hard to grasp. How do you make a positive experience out of cancer? And the first thing I decided to do when I was in the hospital, going through all the radiation and therapy and all the tests and everything, was to be kind and grateful for everything. So I set my mind on that path, that no matter how I felt every day, that the first person I'd meet in the morning, which was always one of the nurses to take blood and so on, I'd be kind and chatty and talk to them and just be grateful that they're there to help me. And I've continued along that path ever since. I've always said to myself that yes, I've got cancer, but I've got so much in my life that I've got to be grateful for. And if I'm going to control this disease myself, along with the drugs and all the different kinds of medication and therapy that I take, the most powerful thing is going to be me and what I do in my mind. Where I put my mind is going to be the ultimate outcome. I've got no intention of this cancer beating me, no intention whatsoever, and I've said this before so many times, but I'm standing here now promising anyone that's got cancer or has got anything, it doesn't matter if it's cancer, it doesn't matter what it is. You could have a drug problem, you could have alcohol problems, life problems, even problems about your own ability to feel good, depression and things like that. You just got to just stand up one day and go, oh, this is it. I'm gonna tell myself that I don't have to be this way. So that's the first thing. I don't have to be a slave to my cancer. I don't have to, I'm going to be the master. I'm going to control it and what I do with my mind. So I'm going to move on to another spot and come back in a little while. So I'm back again now, and I'm back by the water's edge of the lake, and just as I've got here, a swan has decided to come and say hello. it really is one of those days, you know, it's just a perfect day. So going back to the mind and how I use the mind, and people ask me, they say to me, Woody, you know, how are you so positive about it all? You know, why do you know, how come you're so positive and upbeat about it? And the first thing is that to start doing this, I had to lie to myself a lot. I had to pretend that everything was going to be all right, just by telling myself over and over and over again. And then there's a certain point where you tell yourself enough that you start believing yourself, and it works the other way. It works to a negative effect as well. If you start telling yourself, for instance, that you're not good enough, then the more you tell yourself you're not good enough about something, the more you believe it, the more it becomes true. And I started to realise that, yeah, from the beginning, this positivity and this strong belief was a bit of a, I suppose, a bit of a lie, a bit of a, you know, cover up. But I just thought, well, let's just carry on believing that no matter what the doctors tell me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because if I believe enough and tell myself I'm going to be okay, then I now start really feeling that I'm going to be okay. And that's strange, huh? How you're just telling yourself. I start this by a little mantra that I use. It's a famous mantra, but I adapt it for my own benefit, and you can adapt it to your own. But so at various parts of the day, but certainly first thing in the morning, when I wake up, when I open my eyes, when I'm in the shower, when I'm driving to work, and in between those times, when I'm driving home, I will then do it again. And last thing at night, just before I really fall asleep, I fall asleep to this mantra. Very simple, 3 sentences. Every day, in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Every day, in every way, I'm feeling better and better. And every day, in every way, my cancer is becoming weaker and weaker. Now, when I first started saying those words, I didn't have the conviction behind it that I do now. And now I kind of say it from my heart, as if, you know, that I do believe it. And that's you know, the first step is that belief. And I'm going to leave it here, go for another little walk, and come back and just continue this in another little place. I'm back again. I thought I'd stop here because this is where you get a lot of songbirds, and you can see the other lake as well. Not many people walk around this bit. It's a little bit more wilder. And continue my little chat about the mind and how I'm using it, you know, to beat cancer. So one of the strongest convictions while doing the mantra, every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. Every day, in every way, I'm feeling better and better. And every day, in every way, my cancer is growing weaker and weaker. I have to have this thought in my mind that goes something like, nothing is impossible. I have to truly believe that nothing is impossible. There just is no such thing. And that is the next thing that anyone suffering, let's just say anyone that's suffering, anyone suffering has got to, again, just think in their mind that nothing is impossible. Miracles happen, things happen that no one can explain. The mind is so powerful, the body does whatever the mind tells it to. Hi. And I tell my body that everything's going to be okay. And I speak so strongly about it in my, from my heart, from my mind, that every cell in my body is gonna sit up and take notice. And when I tell it that nothing's impossible, and when I start to truly believe that nothing's impossible, then everything becomes possible. Everything. Every single thing becomes possible. There are examples of so many things in medical documentaries and real life things where people have done the impossible. And I'm standing here now, and I look around me, and I'm listening to every single thing going on. I'm soaking in everything in the world that's going on around me, the rustling of the trees, the birds singing, the people in the background, and just giving myself a few minutes of quiet and just truly having that belief that everything is possible. In this moment in time, nothing can hold me back. And once you start getting that feeling like that, once you start feeling that way, then strange things start to happen. Things start to connect. I have this faith in the universe, which I'm going to chat about again in the next little stop. I've got a nice little stop planned. But I'm just going to leave this for maybe another couple of seconds just to soak it all in. This is a nice little spot here. You can hear that, the birds singing, and again, this is a positive part of my life, is to be getting outside. So now some ducks coming in here. Now I know that nothing's impossible. Then now I focus on what I can do, in my mind. I focus on it so much. And I refuse every negative connotation that happens. Connotation. So, as long as I keep this belief going, I think, that there's nothing that's going to stop me. There's nothing to stop me. And I think my belief starts really when I get outside, when I start to walk. When I realise how good that was for me, and just being alone and going out for walks in places like this and listening to the birds and those kinds of things, it started to really have an effect on me. And I believe in this power that the universe has. So I talk about the universe in my blogs. I believe that nothing is an accident. All things happen for a reason. I don't know if I was given cancer as a reason. I don't know that. But I suspect I was. Perhaps it was given to me as a gift in a way. And a gift in a way of saying, let's change your life, Woody. Let's do something about your life. Let's make it more appreciative. And it certainly has done that. There's no doubt about that. Of course, I don't want to take this lightly in any way whatsoever. If it's been given as a gift, I'm going to use it wisely, and I'm going to use it to say, to say thank you. It changed my life in numerous ways, in the way I treat myself and others, and the way I treat the world around me, and become, part of that world in a much more different way than I perhaps used to be, looking after it. And if I just listen to that bird singing, for instance, I mean, that bird singing is just incredible. Mindfulness is the next thing that I like to talk about. And this is mindfulness, just being in a place where you're not really worrying about the future or the past, and all you're doing is listening to what's going on around you, feeling it through every single sense that you have, until you're one with it. Your breathing, everything just becomes one. It becomes one with the universe. You are part of it. There's no doubt in my mind. This little bird there, little duck, he just keeps having a look at me and seeing what I'm doing. He's curious. I haven't moved for a long time. And he keeps having a little glance. I'm not going to hurt him, but he's coming over and have a look now. And this is life, and I intend to see much more of this life. So I'm going to move on to another little place and see what else I can talk about to do in the mind. I've stopped in this place here because it's got a chair, and I've walked just under 5 kilometres so far, and I'm starting to feel it a little bit. So one of the plans today was to see how many times I could walk around this lake. I've done nearly 2, and I'm going to try to do 3. It will work out about 9 kilometres, I think, with a break or so. And then in around 6 weeks' time, I'm going to attempt to walk along with another group of great people the streets of London around the Monopoly board to raise money for Prostate Cancer UK. Well, I'll put a link in that at the bottom. Whether I'm going to do it, I said earlier, nothing's impossible. So at the moment, I'm just going to go by that. Nothing is impossible, and I'm just going to turn up on the day and see how we go, and not really think that I can't do it at any point until I physically can't do it, and I don't think that's going to happen. But I suppose in this little section here, I want to confess something that's been bugging me for a long time, and that's this: that prior to COVID, I used to run around the country delivering courses to people about particularly driving instructors, which is my profession, about calming an anxious mind, it was called. I studied a lot about an anxious mind and put lots of things together in order to come out with a solution and lots of different methods that people could use. Now, the thing I'm confessing about is I never used those myself. And now I truly know, since being diagnosed with cancer, I actually naturally know how to calm an anxious mind. Whereas before, what I used to do is jump out of the course after telling all these people about how they shouldn't get involved in anger and getting frustrated in traffic. Of course, what was I doing? I was jumping off the course, driving up the road, and the next minute into a traffic jam and getting angry and cross and all those things. all those negative things that don't make your body right. So I confess to that. I do know though, through feedback, that the course helped a lot of people, but the person it didn't help was me until now. Until this time in my life last year, when I really discovered how to calm an anxious mind, because I needed to. And that's all I wanted to say, really. That I think sometimes it's so easy to tell people how to do something, but not particularly to do it yourself. And I was guilty of that for a long time, really. But now I kind of don't let anything really worry me. Nothing bothers me. I love the way this swan keeps popping his head up at the bottom of the screen. I'm trying to keep it really still. Off she goes. Look. Goes to see her mate over there. But I'll just wait for these people to walk by. Yeah, I've learnt to use these methods that I used to teach for myself. They do work. They really do work. The whole of my life now is changed. Not because of cancer, but because of the way I think about life. So cancer is actually secondary to that. You know, it's a minor irritation at the moment, and when it's gone, I will completely keep this way of being and make sure I make time for things that are important in life, and you know, get outdoors as much as possible and into the fresh air, and appreciate that. There's the two of them now together, and it's just beautiful. I remember once there was a little expression someone told me once about when you look at these birds like the swans, that they just look so calm and elegant and graceful, and underneath, when they're swimming, their legs are going like crazy. You know, a bit like our minds, really. We can on the outside we can look very much like we're in control and everything from the outside, and there's nothing wrong with us, and that we're perfectly okay. But on the inside, the mind is racing like it's like a hamster on a wheel, you know, when it just keeps going and going and going and doesn't get anywhere. And that's and again, I feel now I'm in that stage where I control that wheel if I want to get on it. I control if I want to run on that wheel, I control it, or I choose to get on it or not. And I suppose that doesn't come about because of my circumstances from the outside. That comes about from me deciding what I want to do, and deciding I make the choice whether I believe that this cancer will kill me or not. I made that choice that it won't. And I think, you know, what is so powerful about all this is that our minds are the controller of everything, not what goes on the outside. Think about that for a moment. You know, whatever happens to you, you know, on the outside, whatever happens in your life, ultimately your mind controls how it affects you. And if you're suffering from something and you want to, you know, try to help yourself, the first thing you got to do is just be positive about it. I mean, believe that everything is possible. Wow, that's some noise that bird makes. Some noise. Yeah, just believe that everything is possible. Nothing's impossible. And when you wake up, you know, tell yourself everything's going to be okay. Just tell yourself about how good it's going to be, not how bad it is.
Yeah, this way.
A little visitor that's just coming on. Hello.
This way, please.
Anyway, I'm going to carry on walking and see if I can do another lap round this beautiful place. And my plan really actually is that if I do 3 laps today, and that's 9 kilometres, then the Monopoly walk that I'm attempting to do in the 30th of April is 22 kilometres. So that's like walking around this lake about 7 times, roughly, maybe a little bit more, in a day. Remember, nothing's impossible. I think I can do it. If you do want to sponsor me, I'll leave a little link underneath this. You know, because it all goes to Prostate Cancer UK, and every single penny that goes into that is for the future of finding out how we can tackle this illness medically. I'm doing it now medically and with the power of positivity in my mind. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, please help us out. Please give generously. Take care. Have a great day.